Hello, everybody, and welcome to Bright Founders Talk at Temy. Temy is an international software development company that designs, builds, and delivers software for sustainable businesses and promising startups. Welcome to our podcast, where we bring you the most inspiring stories of entrepreneurs and experts in the software development industry. Now, each week, we interview successful leaders who share their unique journeys and valuable insights. I'm your host, Barry. And today, we're lucky enough to have another amazing guest joining us, João Neves, who is CEO and CTO at Betarena. Hello, João. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for the invitation.
You're very
nice
welcome.
to meet you.
Thank you. So first, thank you so much for taking time to speak with us. We know you're busy. So let's kick off with finding out a little bit about you and the company that you work at.
The company that I'm working now and that I launched in 2019 started earlier than that, but I can get to it in a little bit. But now I'm working with Betarena, so it's a sport content platform that where you are trying to get content creators to have a specific space and focus on sports. Because nowadays we have lots of content creator platforms that are very generalistic, so they talk about lot of themes, and we are really trying to get this platform to a specific sports theme. And I think that's something that's lacking on the market right now.
And why sports? Is it something that you've always been interested in, or is it just happenstance?
Since I'm from Portugal, we are really great sports fans, and especially soccer. So I've been a sports fan for since I've born, I think. And so it made sense for me. I had an IT company. I founded it it was my first company that I founded when I was around 25 years old. And between that experience, I founded another company that was a marketing digital company, and through that process, I get to know a few customers that work with us. Some were related with sports betting and sports, and then I found that it was a good opportunity to explore. Since I'm really a great sports fan, and I thought that there was a really good niche and market there. It's more than a niche because sports is a very, very big market.
It's a massive market, isn't it? And certainly one that's not going to go away anytime soon.
No.
In terms of the other companies and your experience, what experience did you get from founding your other companies that you've brought to your current company?
Lots of things, especially on people management and how to select people and how to work with them. So I founded my first company. I was very young, so 25 years old, a lot to learn. And since my first company was an IT company, and also then, as I told before, I went through the marketing digital also experience. And during that time, I started with the typical management that I knew at the time, this waterfall logic, etc. But in meantime, and dealing with a lot of partners and different times, team sizes, etc., I understood that I needed to know more, and I learned about Scrum methodology and Agile and stuff like that. And also, I learned a lot about technical stuff that I didn't knew at the time, and that made me much more capable of managing now companies, and now how to grow and now how to scale it and now how to found them and try to understand the market and be very efficient. That's one of the things that I really learned a lot and made me very efficient dealing with several teams and people and also clients, of course.
And can you just share a little bit about your journey and elucidate on how your company came into existence?
So at the time I was studying web design. There was a good opportunity on the web hosting market. I founded a company at that time for web hosting. I was the first using Flash and animated stuff on the website. That's something that was not very usual at the time because everyone was using HTML and stuff like that. So I brought a lot of customers at the beginning, and I started to grow the company. And in that journey, I was able to, in 15 years, to grow the company to be on the top 10 of the web hosting companies and cloud services in Portugal. And at the end of the 15 years, I was able to sell the company and make an exit to one of the biggest market players, the Team Blue, in the world of web hosting and IT services. And that's the way that I went through the business.
Congratulations on that. You have been very successful in whatever you've turned your hand to.
I had my fair share of not so very successful projects, because it's normal, because when you're including Betarena, the first version of Betarena was not successful. But I understood, because at the beginning was I was trying to create a sports betting social network, because at the time it made sense, because social networks were very hyped at the time with Facebook, etc. But we didn't succeed. But I understood that the market was there, and the users that we already had, and I thought that we could continue and give it pivoted, and created a new project that's the one that I'm working on right now. That now includes crypto and tokens and the BTA token utility. And it's a very ambitious project that it's not just a world of sports; it's different worlds that we are trying to create for content creators on specific niche, and go a little bit away from the generalistic platforms that I was talking about earlier on.
It's really interesting because content creation is like very, very popular at the moment.
Yeah.
What made you want to take on the big names, or are you not really taking them on?
One of the first things that is interesting is that for sports, you don't have so many content creation platforms for example, for sports writers, and to create videos, podcasts, and stuff like that, and reward those users with the high percentage of the income that we are going to get. I'm not saying that there's no platform like that in the world, but for my knowledge, that has relevance, it doesn't exist. So I really found that interesting, and I know that lots of sports writers that wrote to magazines and online publishing stuff lost their jobs, and don't have the opportunity to write for sports or create content for sports besides the generalistic platforms. And I thought it was really important to empower that users and give them the opportunity to create content for sports. And that's one of the reasons that I follow that path on Betarena, because I think because we are going to use our BTA token, and the content creators are getting 90% of the profits for their content. So I think that's really important and very interesting for them.
What's the feedback? What's the feedback been like from your consumers?
For now, we have great feedback from the users, and also one of the things that make me think that we are in the correct path and made the correct choice is almost every day I receive emails that of sports writers that want to write to the platform and be paid like an online sports publishing. That's not our project. Our project is to empower them to create their own content and bring their own users, and also take advantage of the million users that we already have on the platform. So I receive emails and requests for that almost every day. So I feel that's one of the best feedbacks, is that people really want to write about sports and want to get some reward from doing it, and live through their work on sports writing. And I think we can really deliver that. Besides the other logics that's inside the platform, because we are also empowering developers to create plugins and stuff like that to the platform that writers can use on their publishing posts, etc. It's a very big ecosystem that we are trying to create, focus specifically on sports.
So when you first set this up, did you have any initial ideas of how you thought it was going to go? And were there any unexpected demands from the consumers that you hadn't considered, or were you pretty much fleshed out from the beginning?
That's one of the things that I learned when I was from my years on different businesses, that I don't make plans for 5 years or stuff like that, big business plans with many ideas. I have the ideas, we put it on the roadmap, but then on going forward, we try to understand what's going to make sense or not at that specific time. So when I pivoted the Betarena project from the social network, the only thing that I've done is, okay, I know that people want to read forecasts and know or read about what's of the events that's going to happen, and they want to read about it, so how the teams are playing, what may happen on the game. I knew that was interesting for a lot of users. So that's the first step that I've done. It's to create content for them on that specific interest. And then the platform was growing, and then we started to understand, okay, so we can go this way, can go that way, can create the token to funds and use inside the platform. We can really empower users by their own creation. We can use AI. That's something that we used before OpenAI came into play. We already had thousands of forecasts using NLG AI. So, and now we are already using OpenAI with all thousands and millions of endpoint data that we have from our providers. So yeah, it's something that's it's building. So we try to understand the market and go with it. Not so much thinking the very big plan or planning too ahead. We try to understand users, what they are doing, what they are requiring, and then build upon it.
So you mentioned AI then, and I'm not saying I'm linking this directly, but what kind of tech trends are currently catching your attention within the industry? And like, what are the driving factors behind their significance?
Yeah, AI is for sure the big trend at this time. I think for not just content, but all the markets. So LLMs, it's a very interesting market, and you can see that. For example, I was reading today that Nvidia now the market size of Nvidia is the size of all German stock market combined. So it's really amazing, and that's really powered by the AI and the chips the GPUs that they manufacture. So I think it's a very relevant market. I think can be very very interesting to be used on sports. We are already using it. One of the things that we have in place to be prepared is the solution on AI that is going to be fed by all of our information in our contents. That's something it's very interesting, since we create millions of posts and forecasts and news and all information about sports. We are going to combine everything and use it to our own LLM and use it on the platform, and also inside other partners platforms. That's something that we have also prepared to be done in the next future.
And are there any non-AI related like tech trends or driving factors on the market at the moment?
We have crypto. I don't know if it's. I think it continues to be a trend. Now it's getting a little bit more mainstream. That's something that I follow and invest and also use in Betarena for quite some time. Followed it since 2014. And I think it's going to catch up. It's continued to be used, and it's a technology that's. I think the tokenization era is it's on place, and it's coming for all assets like commodities and stuff like that. And also, I think we are going to see more and more projects tokenize their assets, and I think it's a very big trend and very important. Not just for investment, but also for people that are creating startups and business. I think they should think about it.
And in terms of your growth model, are you looking to, or have you been looking to develop organically, or do you go through phases where you're looking to create growth and then you stabilize? Is it cyclical in that kind of way?
Growth of Betarena. We went from different approaches. We thought about VC funding, but until now we are doing bootstrapping. The Betarena project has different companies and projects inside itself. So maybe some of the projects, maybe the AI project is going to be funded in a VC funding model, but the world of sports, that's the one that we are talking right now. I think we will continue to do it in bootstrap modes and with the help of the community, since we are doing a private pre-sale for the BTA token. That's going to also happen to the world of helps the world of sports. But I really admire the Telegram way of growing. They didn't receive any funding. They did everything by doing bootstrap. A very small company. They have 30 employees and reached a 1 billion valuation. So I think that's one of the examples that I think really inspire me to do in Betarena. It's a small team, very efficient, and growing in a bootstrapping modes that give us some independent choices, independence without need to answer to boards and stuff like that. So the world of sports, I think we are going to that way. The complete ecosystem of the Betarena is composed with different projects that maybe some of them is going to use VC funding.
Is your company based primarily in Portugal or solely in
No,
Portugal?
my company is based in France.
Oh, in France. Okay. And are you looking to develop internationally, or are you happy where you are in terms of your location?
So Betarena is an international project. So you have millions of users from Brazil, United States, Italy, Peru, Latin America, South America, and other countries. So for now, we are in France because it made sense for us at the time. But we are a world company. The way that is configured this institutional configuration. It's not something that we worried about, because we are a remote, all remote, 100% remote company. We have people working from Thailand to Brazil to Portugal, so, and we are present in hundreds of markets. So for us, where the companies is based is usually to see what's the best approach in to regulations and easy to work with. That's our choice. But we are a world company, not much focused on that.
Lovely, thank you very much. And can you just outline like your primary focal points and like ongoing projects or endeavors?
Yeah, for now it's 100% creating the Betarena ecosystem. So as I told you, we have this ecosystem has different phases and different projects and companies, and it's something that I really want to get into growth, and I really want to build the different worlds that we are trying to build, and the AI solution that is also to be present inside our platforms and with our partners. I'm really focused on building that sports that content creator platforms. Some focus on sports. We are also going to create a world focus on betting, and probably other specific markets that we want to focus on also besides the sports one.
So in entrepreneurship, there's a lot of ups and downs. Like, how do you, like, when things are tough? I mean, when it's plain sailing, obviously things are very good and it's very easy. But how do you cope with, or what kind of talk do you have to have with yourself when things are really tough?
Tomorrow is I think that always think that tomorrow is another day, and when things are not going as well, and that happens a lot, I will always remember that since I'm doing this for now something like 20 years or something like that, so I already know that there's always a solution, and there's always an alternative, and there's always we know that there are days that when you get up and things starts going south, you know, okay, this is one of those days, so let's cope with it. Tomorrow it's going to be a new day. Tomorrow it's going to be a better day. So yeah, it's work. Focus on the goal. Focus on the long term. You know that's going to be bad days, not good days. But focus on the where you want to go and where you want what you want to achieve. And if you are not feeling so great, look at your users, look at what you already built, look at the numbers, look at the features and stuff that you have produced, and be proud of it, and wait for tomorrow.
So you said you've been doing this for 20 years now. Have you seen every eventuality that life can throw at you? Or are you constantly still being surprised at the kind of problems?
Always surprised. You can predict. You can predict everything.
So you can't experience.
We had to live for 400 years, maybe, to start predicting everything. Because because
no plans to do that yet. Then.
Yeah, there's plans for that. No, it's not my startup, but we can think about it in the future. Yeah, but there are stuff that with the years that you are on the market, you can cope easily, because there are stuff that is similar, and you already go through it, and you know, okay, it's not a surprise, so you can try to understand where it came from and what's going to happen next. But there's always surprises, and there are always good and bad surprises. There are, for example, surprises that yesterday, for example, or 2 days ago, someone sent an investor sent us email for the private pre-sale, and is very interested, and is going to go in with us to help us out in the private pre-sale. That's something that was unexpected, and it's a good thing. There's bad things like, for example, we will launch a new feature and are very okay. No, this is going to be very interesting. It's going to have a great response, and nothing happens. So it's a it can happen. That's something that you also learn is that at least for me, or maybe it's with it, but there's not one thing that can make the change that can change everything. You have to do lots of things and continue to grow and do consistent work. There's not that type of approach that something's going to change your life forever because it did one specific thing. I think that's very difficult. That may happen in 1 in a million. The rest is hard work, consistent work, and learn with your mistakes and doing better every day. At least it's what works for me.
Perfect. We talked about some of the challenges that you overcome there. How, as an entrepreneur, what would be, if you were to give someone advice, say someone wants to start up their own company, and through your life experience and having multiple successful projects, what is the biggest piece of advice that you could give to someone?
My wife was because we have friends that are going also in entrepreneurship journey. And she talked with me and said, maybe you could talk with him and give him some points. And I usually say, I'm probably not the best person to give advices because I know it's very, very, very difficult. So if you are going to, it can happen to someone can say, oh no, for me it was very easy. Everything works, or most of the things work well. Maybe it can happen to some of the entrepreneurs. But for my experience, you really have to be focused and you have to really have that mind that in spite of everything that can happen, you must follow through. And that it's tough. And when you are beginning, and if you have at the beginning, when I was younger, I didn't have that notion of economics and financial systems and politics and how things work and how money flows, and all that stuff that you learn over time. Or at least some people learn over time, is that it's really difficult to get revenue. It's really difficult to get there. And lots of projects that you have right now, lots of them are not so successful on the revenue. You have lots of VC funding backed projects that worked for years and never get the revenue that was expected to them because VC funding is I have a specific opinion about VC funding, and sometimes because I think it's something that's a business model for VC founders. But anyway, the thing is that it's very difficult to turn a project profitable. And then I'm not saying sometimes you can nowadays it's more difficult to create an idea and get lots of money off it. It can happen, but the difficult part is to make it consistent. So you get a project that is consistent and get you steady revenue, and have a good foundation. And that's very difficult to do. So my advice is like Elon Musk say, if you are an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to eat glass and go forward with it. It's the advice.
What an amazing quote to end this video on. João, I just want to thank you again for talking with us today. That was João Neves, CEO and CTO at Betarena.